You need a 4-year university degree to earn $140,000 in America today. That's completely wrong. Millions of high school graduates push themselves into $80,000 of student debt. They land desk roles that pay barely $52,000 after taxes every year. They spend 40 hours a week trapped inside dreary open-plan offices. They answer endless emails and dread corporate restructuring announcements every 6 months. Meanwhile, guys like Polly take a completely different path entirely. Nobody talks about this path in high school guidance counselor offices. Polly never set foot on a traditional college campus or university building. He never took out a federal loan or signed loan paperwork. He never bought a designer suit for an uncomfortable corporate interview. Today, at 34 years old, Polly earns $142,500 every single year. He works in a quiet, unglamorous facility managing essential infrastructure systems. He keeps his total personal debt at exactly $0 today. The truth about the American job market in 2026 is simple. Traditional corporate prestige has become a dangerous, expensive financial trap. Specialized, highly technical, unglamorous work quietly creates a new wealth class. These debt-free earners out-earn senior managers before age 35 comfortably. Today, we are opening the books on 7 boring jobs paying $140,000. None of these high-paying positions require a 4-year college degree. Let's start with the specific job Polly actually does every day as a power grid load dispatcher. Most people driving past electrical substations have no idea what happens inside the facility. Power grid load dispatchers monitor and control the flow of electricity across complex regional electrical grids, balancing total supply and demand in real time. If a storm knocks out a primary power line, Polly reroutes high-voltage power across complex circuits to keep hospital equipment running and grocery store freezers cold. The starting wage for a certified operator is roughly $84,000 during initial training, but with shift differentials and mandatory overtime, compensation rapidly scales to $142,500 per year. Why do most job seekers skip this career? Because it sounds incredibly dry, involves shift work, and requires sitting in a control room looking at high-voltage maps for hours. There are no fancy tech perks, no ping-pong tables in the break room, and no remote work days from a sunny beach in Florida or Mexico. But the hard math speaks for itself. 0 student loans, full municipal pension benefits, and an average hourly compensation rate exceeding $65 per hour. Can you guess what happens when an entire generation systematically avoids hands-on technical work? The remaining certified technical workforce commands unbelievable pricing power and job security. That brings us directly to job number 2, commercial elevator inspector and master equipment specialist. Think about every skyscraper, apartment complex, and parking garage in your city. Every single elevator and escalator is legally required to undergo rigorous safety inspections every 6 to 12 months without exception under state municipal safety laws. As a certified inspector, you aren't carrying heavy drywall or digging trenches. You're carrying diagnostic testing tools, measuring cable tension, testing emergency brakes, and reviewing control panels. Polly's friend Mark switched to elevator inspection after leaving a retail management job that paid a miserable $41,000 a year with 0 growth potential. He completed a 4-year paid apprenticeship where he earned $24 an hour while learning the trade from senior certified inspection technicians on real job sites. Today, Mark works 40 hours a week inspecting commercial towers, earning $138,400 annually with full union benefits and a fully paid company service truck. The entry barrier isn't a 4-year bachelor's degree. It's a state technical certification, a clean background check, and a willingness to work inside mechanical shafts. Most people stop exploring trade options because they assume all non-degree jobs involve destroying your body and back by age 40. The ones who look deeper realize that diagnostic testing and specialized technical inspection are physically light but technically demanding and extremely well paid. Compare that to someone who spent 4 years acquiring a general business degree at a cost of $32,000 per year in tuition and room fees. They start their career at 22, making $48,000, while paying $520 every single month towards student loan balance repayment for 20 long years. By age 30, the college graduate has earned $420,000 in gross salary and spent $49,920 on loan interest and principal repayments alone. Mark, who started his paid apprenticeship at 18, earned over $610,000 during that same 12-year window without paying a single cent of debt interest. The next one on our list is a job that sounds downright unappealing to 99% of job seekers: wastewater treatment operations manager and systems supervisor. When you flush a toilet or run the kitchen sink, that water travels through hundreds of miles of underground pipes to a municipal treatment plant. Operations managers oversee the chemical balancing, filtration systems, and biological processing that clean billions of gallons of municipal water every single day. Because the work involves sewage processing, almost no job applicants apply for these roles, creating a massive, chronic shortage of certified operators across the country. A senior wastewater plant operator with a Grade 4 certification routinely earns $132,000 to $145,000 a year in medium to large U.S. metropolitan areas. The daily work is mostly automated through SCADA computer monitoring systems, requiring operators to run routine lab tests, adjust chemical dosing rates, and oversee equipment schedules. Municipalities offer bulletproof job security because water treatment facilities cannot be outsourced overseas or replaced by artificial intelligence algorithms or software bots. Here's what surprised me when analyzing national wage data for 2026. The average cost of a 4-year degree in the United States sits at $104,100 total. Meanwhile, a specialized technical certification for municipal utility management costs between $1,500 and $4,000 total, often fully reimbursed by the city or utility company upon employment. The fourth job on our list turns extreme environment training into serious money: commercial saturation diver and underwater infrastructure inspector. While standard commercial diving pays around $65,000, saturation divers who inspect underwater oil pipelines, bridge footings, and hydroelectric dams operate in a different tier entirely. These specialists live in pressurized chambers on support ships for weeks at a time, diving hundreds of feet below the ocean surface to perform non-destructive weld testing. Because of the extreme physical conditions and technical precision required, saturation divers don't earn a standard hourly wage like typical municipal utility employees. They earn solid base pay plus depth pay that ranges from $3 to $6 per foot, descended below standard surface depth levels on active dive operations. An experienced saturation diver working 8 months out of the year routinely pockets between $140,000 and $185,000 in total gross annual compensation. It requires 0 college credits, just a commercial diving certification from an accredited marine institute, which takes roughly 7 to 9 months to complete. You might be thinking that diving hundreds of feet underwater sounds far too extreme for your personal lifestyle and comfort preferences. Fair enough. So let's look at a land-based job that is completely safe, highly structured, and pays $136,000 without requiring a single college lecture. Job number 5. Locomotive engineer and railway operations supervisor for major Class 1 freight rail networks across the United States. Freight trains move over $1.6 trillion worth of essential goods across North America every single year, operating 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Locomotive engineers are responsible for operating multi-ton freight trains across interstate rail networks, managing train speed, monitoring air brake pressure, and coordinating with dispatchers. Polly met a railway engineer named Steven, who started as a train conductor at age 21 with 0 previous railroad experience or technical qualifications. The rail company paid for his full engineer training program while paying him $28 an hour during his intensive classroom and field instruction. By age 27, Stephen was earning a base salary of $112,000, which jumped to $136,800 with standard mileage bonuses and night differentials included. What's the catch with working on the railroad? The schedule is unpredictable, and you spend nights away from home on long-haul cross-country rail runs. But for a single person or someone looking to build a massive cash cushion early in life, it is one of the fastest financial paths. Now, let's look at the 6th position on our list: Air Traffic Control Specialist with the Federal Aviation Administration. This is widely considered the highest-paying non-degree job in the entire federal government, with median annual wages exceeding $137,000 for experienced controllers. Senior air traffic controllers managing busy airspace hubs like New York, Atlanta, or Chicago frequently earn over $180,000 per year with overtime. Air traffic controllers coordinate the movement of commercial and private aircraft through the sky and on airport runways to maintain safe separation distances at all times. The Federal Aviation Administration hires candidates with just a high school diploma or 3 years of general work experience across any industry. The agency puts accepted applicants through an intensive paid training academy in Oklahoma City, covering full housing allowances during training. The academy training is notoriously rigorous, but once you graduate and achieve full certification at an assigned facility, your compensation enters top brackets. The final job on our list, and arguably the most accessible for people who love heavy machinery, is Heavy Mobile Equipment Maintenance Supervisor. Modern mining, highway construction, and industrial logging operations rely on massive machinery costing over $2 million per individual unit every day. When a $2.5 million heavy haul truck breaks down on an active mining site, every hour of downtime costs the operating company tens of thousands. Specialized diesel mechanics and equipment supervisors who can rapidly diagnose complex hydraulic failures and electronic control modules are treated like absolute gold. Polly's neighbor Daniel started working on small farm tractors in his hometown before taking an entry job with a heavy equipment dealership. He completed manufacturer certifications for SAT and Komatsu systems without attending a university or taking out student loans for vocational tuition. At age 31, Daniel oversees maintenance operations for a major civil infrastructure contractor, making $144,200 a year plus a company service truck. He also receives a generous tool allowance, full family health care coverage, and substantial annual performance bonuses based on equipment uptime metrics. Let's break down the exact math across all 7 of these technical careers versus a standard corporate degree route over a full 10-year career timeline. A typical student attending a state university incurs an average of $38,000 in personal debt, loses 4 years of full-time earning potential completely. They start their corporate career at $50,000 a year at age 22, fighting for 3% annual merit raises in crowded corporate offices. Over 10 years, their total cumulative gross earnings equal roughly $580,000, minus $48,000 spent paying off interest and principal on debt. That leaves the college graduate with a total net 10-year career yield of just $532,000 before taxes and basic living expenses. In sharp contrast, someone entering a specialized non-degree path like power grid operation or elevator inspection at age 18 starts earning right away. They earn an average of $42,000 during apprenticeship or entry technical training, scaling rapidly to $135,000 plus by age 25. Over that same 10-year period, their cumulative gross earnings exceed $980,000, with exactly $0 spent on student loan debt repayment. That is a total net difference of $448,000 in real, spendable cash sitting in their bank account over their 20s and early 30s. They achieve this financial margin simply by choosing a career path based on real economic demand rather than societal status or corporate prestige. So why aren't high school counselors pushing these high-income technical careers to every graduating senior during their final semester? Because public high schools are traditionally evaluated on their college matriculation rates, not on their graduates' net worth at age 30. The entire public educational system is designed to push students toward university degrees, regardless of whether those degrees yield real financial return. If you are looking to reset your financial path or switch careers without going back to school, the practical blueprint is remarkably straightforward. First, identify specialized technical industries in your region that are experiencing high retirement rates among senior technicians and master operators. Next, obtain targeted industry certifications through local trade programs, community colleges, or employer-sponsored paid apprenticeships. Finally, embrace the unglamorous, highly specialized technical roles that everyone else is actively avoiding due to outdated social perceptions. Most workers spend their entire lives chasing prestigious job titles that barely pay enough to cover their monthly living costs and loan balances. They stay trapped on the corporate ladder, waiting for small annual raises while watching their purchasing power get eroded by ongoing economic inflation. Meanwhile, technical specialists operating behind the scenes build massive net worth, buy real estate, and retire early with zero debt hanging over them. Look at Paulie's lifestyle today. He owns his home, drives a paid-off vehicle, and contributes maximum allowable limits to his retirement accounts every year. He doesn't take work home with him at night, he doesn't worry about corporate layoffs, and he has total control over his financial future. Mark, Stephen, and Daniel all built similar lives by ignoring standard advice and focusing entirely on high-value skill acquisition. They didn't need luck, inheritance, or high-level family connections to achieve financial independence in their late 20s and early 30s. They simply identified essential services that society cannot function without and positioned themselves as indispensable technical experts. The demand for certified power grid operators, elevator inspectors, and utility managers is growing higher every single year across North America. As older workers retire from these industries over the next decade, the wage rates for incoming certified technicians will continue to rise rapidly. This creates an unprecedented opportunity for anyone willing to step outside the traditional corporate path and learn a high-income trade. You don't need permission from a university admissions board to start building real wealth through specialized technical skills. You just need the willingness to do the work that other people consider too dull, too messy, or too unglamorous to pursue. Take a close look at your current income trajectory and ask yourself where you will be 5 years from today if nothing changes. If your current career path isn't delivering the financial growth and freedom you need, it's time to evaluate alternative routes. The 7 careers we covered today represent just a small sample of the non-degree six-figure opportunities available right now. Millions of dollars in entry-level apprentice wages and training subsidies are waiting for workers who take action and apply. You can keep paying for expensive credentials that offer no guarantees, or you can step into an industry that pays you while you learn. The choice between corporate debt and technical independence has never been clearer than it is in today's economy. Every year you delay making a decision is another year of lost earning potential and compound wealth growth. Start researching local utility companies, trade unions, and certification programs in your area before the end of this week. Talk to people who are actively working in these fields and ask them about their daily routines, entry paths, and real earning potential. You'll quickly realize that the real wealth in modern America isn't hiding in glass office towers or corporate boardrooms. It's quiet, it's debt-free, and it's built on essential technical work that keeps the world running every single day. Paulie made his decision 12 years ago, and it completely transformed his financial reality for the rest of his life. Mark, Stephen, and Daniel made the same choice and achieved total financial security long before reaching mid-career age. Now the exact same paths are open and waiting for anyone willing to take the first step towards specialized training. The chain of traditional expectations says you must go into debt to prove your value to an employer. The real numbers prove otherwise every single time you analyze actual earnings and long-term net worth. The chain is real, and you have the power to step outside of it, starting right now. The only question is whether you start exploring these specialized technical options this week or keep waiting for a corporate raise that barely covers inflation.